Hi everyone, dumbell osteopath here again. In my last video, I used a TRX to do some kind of mid-back rows in conjunction with some lateral raises as an isometric movement. In other words, what we're trying to do is work the deltoids and the middle back through here. Okay, so we're basically rowing whilst doing lateral raises and front raises combined in this position. It's really good for the delts because although you're keeping this position in an isometric movement, you are transitioning between the front and the middle and the posterior all the time. So it's a fantastic all-round exercise you can do. If you've not got a lot of time, it's a really good exercise for that reason, because you also work with your middle back. And as I said before, we want to try to work the middle back in particular. And although I'm a great fan of things like pull-ups, they do affect the lats sometimes adversely, and of course the shoulder joints. You can get a lot of compression, especially the top of the motion up here. So sometimes it's really good to work that middle back to pull everything back to that nice natural position. Okay, really good for countering poor posture if you're sitting from a computer for long periods of time. Anyway, so in my last exercise it was with the TRX. But what if you've not got a TRX? Well, what you can do is use a band. I've got a band here, and I put it up against the window there, against the locks, so it's nice and tight. It's not a particularly strong band. It's about 10 kilograms. Our full contraction would be 11. So we're going to use this today in the same way. But I'm going to do it as a single arm exercise. You're going to need a pillow. And when you do these exercises, you're ideally be pulling from high to low to take the pressure away from the acromial-clavicular joint a little bit, okay? So let's get a pillow on the ground. Let's sit down in a nice upright position. Keep your tummy nice and tight. It's really good here for the hip flexors as well. You get a nice stretch in your hip flexor. You grab the band with the other arm, and what you're simply going to do is run back to here. Now, if you notice, my hand is going to come slightly down, okay, so almost to the nipple level, but the arm is still flared out. So we're not going all the way down to here. This is more lats. At this position here, we're working that middle back. Try not to let this shoulder go up here like this. Don't use your upper traps. It's all about this area here, rhomboids and lower to middle traps. You're simply going to be pulling back like so. And if you notice, I'm supinating my grip as I come round. It's good if you can watch yourself. If you've got a mirror, it does help. Anyway, we're now going to combine that with a weight. So here we go. We've got a tiny little 1 kilogram weight. You can use a lot more, of course, but let's just stick with this one. So put that in your hand. Place the band around your hand as well. There we go. And simply row towards you like that. Keep the posture nice and tight. Keep the tummy really tight here. If you want to, you can, as I said in my last video, you can allow a little bit of rounding. I do the upper back only, not the lower back. You've got to protect this area. Allow the upper back to round a bit to hit the lats, but that's only if you really want to hit the lats. If you want to just purely focus on the middle back, keep it upright and keep that steady and just row to here like so. There we go. And just experiment, see how many reps you can get out without breaking your form. It's a lovely exercise to do because, as I said, at this point your anterior delts work as you bring it round, it's middle delts and posterior delt the whole time you're contracting through here. So all in all, it's just a very good overall shoulder builder and balances the anterior, middle and posterior together, which is one thing you don't often see. Certainly when we're training, we very often overemphasize our anterior delts over anything else, and sometimes we do our laterals a little bit more, but very often the posterior is completely forgotten. And that posterior delt and the complex that surrounds it is really important in preventing shoulder injuries. Anyway, give this a try, see how you go. I mean, make up your own reps and sets. If you've done this kind of thing before, you should know what you're doing. Otherwise, you just can keep it basic. Ideally, start light, 3 sets of 10 and go from there. Anyway, see you in the next video. Take care.